Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dylan Silver, and today on the show I have broker, investor, single family, multifamily, commercial, lots of experience in Connecticut, David Senna. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show here. I always like to start off at the top by asking folks how they got into the real estate space.
Well, that's a great question. So when I was about 7, 8 years old, there's this game called Monopoly that my sister and I played day in and day out. And, when you have, some hotels and houses on properties and that money came in, I just got this feeling like this is the greatest thing. So I was addicted to Monopoly for years, and that's what got me rolling. And the funny thing about it is I didn't really discover that Monopoly was really the driver until maybe 3 years ago. So, but yeah, that's what got me started, and I'm passionate about real estate. I could sit here and talk for, hours and hours and never get sick of it.
You know what's funny about Monopoly, Dave, is there's quite a few people who attribute their real estate journey as investors to the game of Monopoly.
Yep.
There's actually some, I guess you would call official rules, but then there's also I don't know what you would call it, like house rules associated with Monopoly. I've seen people do arbitrage with Monopoly where there'll be, someone will land on Boardwalk Park Place, and then instead of charging them, they'll be like, look, I know you're about to be bankrupt, so if you give me these 2 properties, I'm not going to charge you. But then also every time you pass go, you have to give me interest. So they're like, these aren't in the rules. And the other player, and then the guy's like, well, where does it say that I can't do this in the rules?
Yeah, that's funny you bring that up because, my sister and I we'd make up our own rules, more of hey, just shuffle cards and you get half, I get, she got half, I got half. And you didn't need all 3 colors or all 2 colors to put hotels and houses. Whatever card you had, you could put houses and hotels on, and we would be the banker and just make additional money, all kinds of things. Sometimes games would last weeks and weeks. Like you said, you don't want it to end, so you'd make up different rules,
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Monopoly is one of those games that can go forever. I remember kind of my mom scratching her hair out, I feel like, on a vacation because I was taking it way too seriously and it was going, into multiple days. And it's like, we're trying to enjoy our time here. But I do want to ask you, you mentioned Game of Monopoly was kind of maybe the inspiration. Was the first step to getting into real estate, was it a real estate license? Was it a fix and flip? What was the first step to the real estate journey?
Yeah, so the first thing I bought a condo, and it really wasn't anything where it was trying to be an investment or anything like that. It was literally a condo I bought for 40,000, and the mortgage was cheaper than rent. So that was my start. That was back in I'll say 1993, and all the way till about 2003, I bought my first three-family, and I didn't do anything after that till 2011. And one of the things that I'm kicking myself for is the mortgage broker in 2003 I used for my three-family. He'd told me, I can show you how to buy these one after another. And I did not take him up on that opportunity. And things would be a lot different now. I'm still in a good place, but I just think about that a lot. Like I missed my opportunity when it presented itself. So then in 2011,
Did you sell a lot of those?
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you sell a lot of those early properties, or did you hang on to them?
So I've only sold one property. Well, besides my flips, I've only sold one other property I bought as an investment, and that's a tricky story. So I had to get rid of that property just for what was going on
Yeah.
inside of it, and I didn't want to be tied to it.
Now, you mentioned going through, you mentioned 93, 2003, 2011, 2008 happens. What happens in your real estate portfolio, and what happens in your real estate journey? Are you seeing this and you're saying, oh, I got to pump the brakes here? Are you seeing this and saying this is a great time to buy?
No, so it was really 2006. I got my real estate license. That was my plan to exit Travelers, get up and running and leave Travelers. And then 2010, I wasn't there yet. I became a broker. I was taking the continuing ed classes, and I figured if I'm going to do this, why don't I become a broker? And I went out on my own in 2010. But I was looking for property, but I wasn't serious about it. I belonged to a real estate club. I just didn't take action. It was actually somewhere in the 2009, 2010 where I had a lot of money in the stock market and I lost a substantial amount. And my
Sure.
wife wasn't aware of how much I lost, so I figured I have to figure out how to make that money back. So in 2011, I flipped my first house, and I didn't care whether I made a dollar or not. I just wanted to learn, jump in and get started. And I still have that house today. So that was my first flip that I never flipped.
So are these, was at home intended to be like a fix and flip? You're supposed to get it, or in your mind at least get it, put it on the market, and it became a long-term buy and hold?
Yeah, so what happened was I had a lady that was in this mortgage program, which I don't know a lot about, but she was enrolled in like 6 months. They tracked her credit, taught her, how to manage her bills. And I rented to her because she wasn't finished that 6 month. And what happened is her car broke down, and instead of her fixing it, she just let the bank take it. So at that point, she couldn't get a mortgage, so I ended up keeping it, and I still have it today.
Yeah, that's a good situation. I think, a lot of times people look at what's the quickest way that they can make a buck in real estate. But the biggest regret that I have continually from folks I've talked to on this show is selling their early properties, which doesn't seem like you did. So congrats on that, holding a lot of these deals.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, so I didn't sell that one, but I've done 24 flips since then, and I've sold every other one of them. But you're right, I regret selling them.
24 24 flips. What's the secret to doing a good flip? Is it all in the buy? Is it in the contractors? Is it managing timelines? What's the secret to doing a good flip?
So, this is kind of crazy, but when I walk into a house, I get a feeling in my stomach of whether it's going to be a good flip or not. And if you told me that you get a feeling, I'd probably say you're crazy. But honestly, I get a feeling. But what's really the key for me is I have a standard for everything. So my first flip, and my wife's huge help on this. Um, I pick the house. She comes in and she designs. This is what we're gonna do. But all our finishes are the same. We use the same color paint. We use the same type of flooring, the same type of countertop, and that goes up to houses that are back at that time under 250, right? And then the finishes change. You're going to go to granite. Now I found that even with the lower starter homes, I still put in granite, but the consistency of knowing what material we're gonna use saves a lot of time because it's not like what kind of flooring, and then you do the next one. Oh, what kind of flooring? We already know what kind of flooring we're using. We already sourced the best price, and it's just automatic from that.
So it's in effect, in a way, it's good to not have to make so many decisions. I think I've spoken with flippers, and one of the issues that they come across is each project is like their baby, but they don't have standards. And I shouldn't say standards, they don't have standardization with the
Right.
finishes. You mentioned the finishes, right? So then you can kind of customize your way into analysis paralysis, and then you have other issues at hand. Flips are already hard enough, as you know, Dave. You take down one wall, and now you're looking at something entirely different. And then, not to mention, you have to sell it when you're done. So what happens if it's sitting there? How have you navigated some of those difficulties?
So, just going back to the standardization, because I just want to point out one thing. You always run into, okay, do I need, 2 gallons of paint or 3 gallons of finish, right? So if I know I'm going to use that standard gray or standard beige, I'm buying 5 gallon buckets, and I don't care whether I need a gallon or not. I still have that bucket for a bucket of paint for the next flip. And by the way, I use the same color in my flips that I do in all my rentals. So it's continuous, same color, Sherwin-Williams, that I'm buying in 5 gallon buckets. Same thing with flooring. I don't have to guess. Do I need 10 boxes? Do I need 20 boxes? I'll just buy 20 boxes. I know I'm going to use whatever's extra on the next flip or one of my properties. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Sure,
What you
sure.
asked.
When it comes to, managing exits, and when it comes to, managing a budget for a flip, how have you handled a lot of those difficulties? Because of course, when you take up, the subfloor and you're looking at foundation issues, and when you tear down a wall and now you're looking at something else entirely, a lot of flippers, this can be how they make or break their deals. And then when you're looking at properties that could sometimes sit on market, how do you prevent or manage some of those risks?
Yeah, so I take the more or less worst case scenario. So, some HUD properties, you have to pay $100 or whatever it is to unwinterize them and then to winterize it again. So if I'm looking at a HUD property, I'll go in and just assume that, the boiler's bad, the hot water heater's bad. Um, and if they're good, then that's a bonus. But I work that into my offer, as well as anything that I think is structural. I'm not cheap where I'd rather pay, $350, $500, whatever, for a structural engineer to come in and sign off on it. I don't like taking walls down. I try to prevent that because then that opens up, you might need permits, things like that, and it pushes the timeline out.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, take the wall down, you don't know what's behind there. So, I do an extensive inspection. If I think I need to bring an inspector in, which most of the time I don't, and I'm not recommending to not bring an inspector in if you don't really know what you're doing, but I've had enough experience with, home improvement stuff that I kind of know like the big red flags, and structural I think is something that will kill your profit. So I always bring in. We have a guy right here local that is really good. So he's very helpful and he's quick. I might call him today and say I need your help whenever. Can you get here? And it'll be this afternoon or it'll be tomorrow, or he fits me in quick, you know.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Now, in all of these deals, you're having to buy them correctly. Are you finding these deals on the market? Are these off-market deals? Are these pre-foreclosures? How are you able to find these deals, 24 deals?
So a lot of them are right in your face. So, my answer would be different if you asked this question pre-COVID, because there was flips everywhere, right? You could choose and then buy what you wanted. Now there's a big trend of everyone wants to be an investor or a flipper. They see the shows, everything's glamorous, but you don't see the issues behind the scenes. I cast a big net. So I think the most important thing is marketing as well as relationships. Every attorney I talk to, everyone that knows me knows I flip houses. I'm always asking, is there any opportunity to buy anyone's house? The grandfathers going in a home or grandparents. And I also, my business is kind of intertwined. So let's say that someone, needs to get rid of their grandparents' house. I'll be interested in flipping it if I can, but if the price isn't right, they have the opportunity to sell the house. Or if they don't want to sell the house, then I can kind of consult with them and say, all right, this is what you need to do if you want to get a better price for it. Or, oh, you want to live in the house? Well, this is what the things that I would really update. And I don't charge for giving that consultation. That's just something that I do to help everyone, right? So I have the knowledge, a lot of people don't. So why not just help them out? And, things come full circle.
I want to talk about commercial. You mentioned commercial before we were hopping on here. So it's a big jump to go from single and multifamily to then commercial. Well, what type of commercial deals have you been involved with and are you looking at?
So I have a a building that was retail. It was an old Christmas tree shop, and not the national brand Christmas tree shop, but um, it's a building that I acquired when I bought a two-family and a single all in the same property. It was a bank-owned property, and I was going to put a baseball training facility in there. The assistant coach to Eastern
Nice.
State University it was his idea to come in and do something, and then he got a head coaching job, so that fell by the wayside. But now I'm looking at putting storage in there. So a good friend of mine that I use for my banking does storage facilities as well. So I had lunch with him and just asked, hey, what do I need to do to get the ball rolling? And he was a huge help to get that started. So besides that, I don't have a lot of commercial experience. I went to a seminar. 2011 was a big year. I went to a seminar
Yeah.
on mobile home parks, storage facilities back then, and I started to look, but I never pushed it. But now those are really popular now, so I haven't.
I
Excuse me,
will
I haven't
say
really
with
focused.
the land, new builds, storage facilities, mobile home, RV parks, these seem to be, I've had so many guests on the show talking about this. It's not as HGTV level as like doing fix and flips, but I've seen so much of it. It's really piqued my interest. And I'm out here in Texas, so we've got, lots of free vacant land, right? So it's definitely an interesting thing. Working with fix and flippers, I also know that it's more difficult to be a fix and flipper now than it was previously. So a lot of these other strategies are becoming more popular.
Yeah, so that, buying the land, and I kind of just, one thing went to another. Um, the parking lots that you put together for like tractor truck parking, um, is very low maintenance, pretty low start to get in, um, and it makes some good money. So I'm exploring that a little bit, and one thing that I found is I got to try to figure out how to invest in real estate in a way that no one else is doing it, right? Or less people. So try to get away from the flips. I'm not going to give the flipping up, but try to get away from the flips.
Sure.
Try to look at the land, right? So there's that book out there, Dirt Poor, and I'm not promoting it. I haven't read it yet, but I need to get that book. I need to find out what's going on with that. What's the idea behind it, right? So, to me, I always thought, oh, you're going to buy land, you're going to sit on it, you're going to pay taxes. It's not making you any money, and it's kind of a waste. But if I can create a parking lot for trailer trucks or RV storage or both, right? Something like that, then that sounds like a good way to go if you can make decent money with that.
For sure. Dave, we are coming up on time here. Where can folks go maybe to reach out to you or learn more about your business if they're out there in Connecticut?
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. My office is right here in Manchester, Connecticut. If you Google my name or Senna Realty Group, you'll find me. I'm around. I'm easy to find.
Dave, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.